Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a print and cut tutorial. I'm doing inserts, planner cards, dashboards, and digital papers. If you would like to see how I print and cut, stay tuned. So for the first one, I have a sticky note printable, but I'm going to print it out on cardstock. I want to cut them down and just use them kind of like an accessory. So I have cardstock here, and this is from Michaels. I'm going to put 3 pages in my printer. I might add more. And these are the Sterling Ink free sticky notes from her Facebook page. So this one is pretty simple because you don't have to worry about sizing really. I guess if you did print them out on sticky notes, you would just have to make sure that it's printing the actual size. So I'm just going to do the plain sticky note. I'm going to make sure I only want the first page. So that's another tip. Make sure you check what pages you're printing out. So 1 to 1, so we don't waste paper. And press print. Okay. Print another one. Sorry, I can't see. This is the cutting tool that I use. It's from Michaels, and the brand is Fiskars, and it has a wire that shows you exactly where you're cutting. This is the corner rounder that I use, and it's from Hobby Lobby, the We Are brand. And so since I don't have to worry about sizing, I'm just gonna cut right along the line, or you can cut within the line, however you want to do it. I think I'll cut right on the line. And just make sure it's lined up. So you can check here, make sure it looks even, check here. Here you don't have a line, but if it was like, for example, if it was above the line, if it's crooked, you can tell that this line is going to be off. So just check all sides. Okay, there we go. They're beautiful. So you can clip them into your planner, write notes on them, use them as decoration. You can probably put a photo on top of one. Just keep them plain and keep them in a pocket. Beautiful. So I'll finish the rest of them and then get back to you with the next item. Okay, so all of those are done. We'll move to the next one. Now I'm gonna print a couple items from My Minimal Planner's last $2 Tuesday. And we're gonna start with this dashboard. And this time we're gonna play with different materials. I'm gonna print this twice, once on acetate and once on vellum. And with the dashboards, you want to make sure that you're printing at the actual size. Okay. Actually, I'm going to let these dry. And I'll print the next two. These are pretty easy to print out because they print out on a full sheet and you really don't have to worry about sizing. And then if you're using it as a dashboard, just cut it down to the size that you want. And I'm printing those on vellum. The first two dashboards, and this is how I cut all of my inserts and dashboards. So I use the first cut line. Let me zoom in so you can see. So I use the first crop mark or cut line. I follow the second cut line. And then from here I measure. So I know that I'm using Franklin Covey Compact, so it has to be 4.25 inches. So I make sure it's lined up straight all the way through. And then I cut. And I know that the height is 6.75. So I bring it right to the edge where 6.75 would be. Make sure it's lined up. It looks straight. And I cut. So that way, all of your inserts line up. And again, use that first cut line. This one's kind of hard to see. Okay. First cut line. Second cut line. And make sure the lines that you're cutting aren't parallel. You flip it. Make sure it's right on 4.25. And make sure the height is right on 6.75. There we go. And the two different materials give you different looks. They're beautiful. And you see they line up perfectly. So for this one, I use these in my daily devotional, and they're 6.25 inches wide. So I line it up there. Cut it. And the height of my inserts are 8.5, so I don't have to trim it. So those are super easy. But you would just cut it down to whatever size your inserts are. Right at 6.25. Make sure it's lined up straight. And we cut. And actually with these, I'll go ahead and cut down. Cut them down to my Franklin Covey Compact insert size. Right at 6.75. .25 width, 6.75 height. And just take your time with it. If you need like a reference sheet, make sure you're checking that. So you can layer these. Let me see. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. I'm done with those. I guess I'll show you how I punch them really quick. Actually, I'm just going to punch the A5 for now because I have to make sure. I'll get back to these. So when you're punching your inserts, I'll punch this from Hobby Lobby and it's adjustable. So every time I punch, I make sure, I just check the settings on everything. So this says A5 and on the back A5. So now it's ready to punch. Make sure everything is up against the back of the punch. And also with these, I usually laminate them, so I'll wait to punch these. I'll wait till I laminate them to punch. But there you go, that's everything. Okay. So the next thing I'm gonna print is sticker labels that I typed up myself. So like I said, another tip was to test print. So before I use my sticker paper, because I don't have a lot of it left, and sticker paper is a lot more expensive than printer paper, I am going to do a test print. And I'm using them to label this corner. So what I can do is... print them out, and I'll cut them down. I'm not going to cut each of them, but just cut the strip out so I can get an idea of what the width is going to be like. And just kind of compare. You know, basically make sure it's not too wide. And that's perfect. So now we're going to take our sticker paper. And my printer, I have to lay it face down. So I make sure that the sticker side is face down. Okay, so that's how it turned out, and they're the perfect size. And what I'm going to do for this one is I think I'm going to lift the sticker paper up, trim it here, and then I can go through and cut each sticker out and place them on the labels. Because since this is a lot of wasted space, I want to be able to print on this paper again. So that's how I'm going to do that. Okay, so this last set that I have to print, I'm really excited because it's a really beautiful tracker. And it comes with a couple different files. So we'll print them out one by one. We're going to start with the cover page. And they have one that prints on actual size and one that has crop marks. So let's start with that. Single-sided, one copy, and print. Beautiful. The next one, I already did a test print on this one. This one's different, so let's see how it prints out. Okay, so that printed out perfectly. So I mentioned that I did a test print because usually when I print on my phone, I print from the HP Smart Printer, and I have to go in and choose if I want to print on the long or short side. So on this file, I had to print on the long side, or flip on the long side. And the next one that I'm going to print, I had to flip it on the short side. So I guess if I just choose print, I don't have to choose that option. So that's what I mean by doing a test print. If you do have to choose that option, just figure out which not for each file, but just in general how you have to flip it. And then if it's not working, you can manually flip it, so you can do a test print that way and just figure out, you know, how you have to flip it. Or yeah. So let's print the next one. And so for the first one, I'm going to print it single-sided. And then next, I will do a couple copies double-sided. So I'm doing it single-sided because for the front and back cover. It didn't print right on my iPad, so I'm showing you here where I went on my phone, pulled up the file, printed from HP printer, clicked short edge, and it printed out perfectly. So I printed them out on my phone and they printed out perfectly. So let's cut them down. We're going to start with the cover page. On the first line, flip it, second line, and now we measure 4.25 inches wide. Make sure it's lined up, 6.75 inches high. First page. This one is a tip-in. So I'll show you one more method of cutting. So you line everything up. And then you drag the cutter to the center of the page and you don't take it all the way to the edge. And you do that 4 times. Line it up, bring it to the center, cut. Line it up, bring it to the center, cut. Flip, line it up, bring it to the center. And also each time you want to pay attention to make sure that everything is laying flat and everything is aligned. Look at that. Beautiful. And I think I'm going to round the corners on 2 of the edges, and that's what's left. Ooh. Dang it. So with this one, since I'm not sure what the width is, I'll do a 3rd cut on the line. And then for the last cut, I measure. And you can avoid doing that by just doing it slowly. Just try doing 2 sheets. Make sure everything is lined up. Line it up. Wait, I'm supposed to do this one. And then measure 6.75. Can you see how they line up? I cannot remember what this thing is called, but it's used to make fold marks, and it's by We Are Memory Brands. I'll try to link it below. And I can't find my bone folder tool, but I'm going to use a paper clip, and right at the 4.25 line, I'm going to crease it. I'm going to bring them all together. So I'm using my 52 Agenda from Hobby Lobby hole punch, and I make sure the lines are on personal. And it was kind of off on personal, but when I put it on desk, what does it say? Desk Fax 1, it punches perfectly. So don't put it on personal, put it on the one after it, and make sure the holes are on punch. So now I'm gonna punch everything in around the corners. So I had to reprint this one because I folded it on the wrong side, so then I punched it on the wrong side. So just make sure you're paying attention when you're printing and fold punching. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day.